Hey everyone, so today I'm going to go over a full overview of Darkroom Booth software. I'm going to show you the steps that I use to set up for an event from beginning to end, all the little settings that I like to set, just so you can always look back on this and see what steps you're missing or what you need to do. So first thing I'm going to go into, I'm just going to open up Darkroom. Just wait for that to load. And for this, I'm just going to stick with the trial. Continue. And this is as we're just pretending that I'm on my booth, my actual booth that I'm using for the event. So first thing I like to do is, see, I already have this test one here. I'm just going to delete this one so I can remake it. I'm going to remove event, delete. All right, so now we're fresh off. So I'm going to go to the top here, create new event. And I'm just going to name this one. I'll name it test again. I'll name it test 2 this time. Test 2. Okay. So now we have test 2. So now it's made a whole blank one. We have the prints here set at 2x6 strips. And I have it in a USB two templates, one for 2x6 and one for 4x6. And I'll show you the both differences. So next, after I set up my create new event, I'm going to choose my template. So I don't have my USB plugged in yet, but I'm going to plug that in right now. Alright, so USB just plugged in. So I got two templates that I created on Photoshop. So the barbershop one, that's 2x6. The Comic-Con, that's a 4x6. So I'm just going to minimize that right now. Alright, so I'm going to start with the 2x6 so you can see how I add the artwork into it. So I'm going to just click on any 2x6, doesn't matter. I'm going to edit. And I'll just delete this stuff here. So even this too, get rid of that. And these look pretty good. They're all already individual. That's what I like to use. I like to use individual boxes. And so next thing I'm going to do is go to add artwork, browse this PC, my USB that I just plugged in, and then barbershop. Open. Okay. And it comes in. So for this template, there's only 3 boxes. So 1, 2, and 3. But the one that we're using has 4, so I'm just going to delete that 4th one. So the file that I created here on Photoshop, it's a PNG file. And in Photoshop, I already pre-cut out these boxes here. So if I move this around, you see how that's you can see through those boxes. That's what a PNG does. It makes the file transparent in the box that you cut out. Hopefully, I want to make a video that shows you how to create one of these templates in Photoshop. So if you guys decide to want to subscribe to Photoshop and pay the monthly subscription, you're more than welcome to start designing these templates yourself. So it's a little off right now. So I'm just going to go to size, fill entire page. Okay. And so now with each box, it's behind the template here. And so if you go to order and bring to front, see now it's in front. So I like to bring it to the back. So send to back. So now this way you can just stretch out the the photo box over those lines, just like that. The next one. So it's a little tedious, but it's the templates are custom. So if you preset your Photoshop files to already have these boxes lined up, and you can just keep reusing the same darkroom file to place all your artwork on. All right, so now that I got those set, I'm just going to hit Save As. And I'm just going to name this one Barbershop. Barbershop. Save. All right, so there we go, Barbershop. And then just hit Choose. And then you just make sure that this is 2x6 selected. But let's say you wanted to do a 4x6. It would be the same process. You just go to pick any 4x6. Let's say this one, for instance. Hit Edit. Delete the old background. Add artwork. And Comic-Con. Open. Then you just realign these just to be lined up. Same process. But since I already did a 2x6 one, I'm just going to stick to that one. So let's just stick to this. Hit Choose. All right, so now I got the template set up. I created a new event. So now all the pictures are being saved on this specific event that I created. Next thing I want to do is make sure my printer is set up. I just went to Global Settings, Printer Options here. If you didn't already add your printer, you can just add it here. I like to use a DMP DS-RX1. Add printer. And so in the future, if you need to know if you're running low on paper, you can always go to here. You can double click on the printer. And then if you go to remaining, you'll see a number there that shows you how much is remaining on that roll of paper. So you don't always have to carry another roll of paper with you. You can always just tell if you're running low. So I'm just going to hit OK. Back to events. All right, and then let's say you wanted to set up one of the social media features. Post to Facebook. That's posting to a specific Facebook user post. If I click on that, that's allowing people to log into their own personal timeline and posting the template on their timeline. Okay, so if you hit OK, it checks the box. So anything you want to do, just check the box. Make sure you set up your accounts first in the global settings, in the email and social media. Add your accounts here. Twilio is for texting. You need to set up a texting service through their website, twilio.com. And I believe you need Dropbox too for texting. I don't do much texting or Facebook or Instagram. I just strictly stick with the prints. But you just add in your accounts here. In one of my previous videos, I go over the save output. So I'll put a link in the description so you can check out that video. So after I'm done with this one, after I'm done with the output setting, I like to go to right here in the other settings, make sure my screens is set. So in this demo one, it doesn't seem like there's a screen set up for it, so I'll just go to choose. Let's see if this one's working. Yeah, there you go. So same thing with the print template. You can edit these by just going to edit. And then you can move these boxes if you like. This live view box, that's what the box that people would see themselves in as they start the session. I like to keep these two options here, black and white or color. The percent text percent, that's with the text setting. So if I go back, I cancel this, yes. In this text setting right here, that's what gets displayed on the screens. So if you can type in, maybe in the clicks in the start text, you can maybe say like, let's say push. Since I have black and white or color, you can put push black or white, black and white or color to start. Something simple. And then at the end text, you can possibly put your website. Redirect them back to your website. That's always a good tool. A little good tactic to use. Let's see. Not much to the text setting. There's a few other options. I mainly just stick to the start text, get ready text, end text. Let's see. So you got screens, text, timing. That's the countdown. So it's all your countdown timers. Get ready delays, countdown timer. I like to put it at like about 4 to 5 seconds. That gives people enough time to move around if they need to, grab some props. Let's see. Camera settings. So I don't have a camera set up to this computer that I'm using, but I like to use a Canon T6. And I guess for the camera setting, I'll leave a description describing the two indoor and outdoor settings I like to use when using a DSLR camera and a flash. So I'll leave that in the description. Live view. If you go to live view, you can test what the camera's looking at. This right here, after a session is started, I like to leave that as always on before and during sessions. So this way, people are able to see themselves in the live view box before the session has even started, because if not, then the only way that they can see themselves before the countdown starts is if they push the button. And so, it doesn't give them time to see like what they look like with the props on. So I like to leave this set to always on before. Let's see. And then also another tip is I like to leave the camera on manual setting. Everything on manual for the actual DSLR camera. Even the lens, I don't put it on autofocus. That's set to manual, and so when I test it, I manually focus the camera one time in the live view, and then after that, each picture will be in focus, because the photo booth is not going to go anywhere, so it'll always be in focus throughout the whole event with the correct camera settings. Slideshow is a good feature if you have an additional monitor. You can just leave it at basic. It does a basic slideshow of all the prints. Custom, pretty self-explanatory. You can customize it even more. Device control, that's more for mirror booth animations. That's where you put in, I have another video that I created describing the mirror booth animations. It's actually this event right here, wedding set. And then wrap up, I don't really use wrap up. I never used this setting, but it's got some pretty interesting options here. And then video, that's where you set up your GIFs. So it gives you a little description of what it does. Just make sure to choose your template here. This is after you created it in the output setting. So after you created it, then you can choose it here. So the main settings I always use for every single event is the output, camera, live view, and that's pretty much it, just those three. Because the screens, I always keep it at the same screen, this same design right here. It's pretty generic, it goes with almost any event. The text, I don't change. The timing, I don't really change. So mainly just the output, live view, and camera. And then when you're ready, just hit start booth. You're good to go. Take a few test shots. One last tip is when I'm in start booth, this is what I used to do when I first started out. I'll leave it at camera settings. And then I'll hit start booth, take a test shot, let it print out, see how it looks like. If I felt like it was too washed out, or if it was too dark, then I'll hit escape on my little Bluetooth keyboard. I'll come back it takes me back into the program. Then I make a little adjustment on the camera setting. Then I'll hit start booth again, take another test shot, see if that's good. It's usually after the first one, you're pretty much good. But I'll just go back and forth between the camera setting and start booth mode. And that's pretty much it. So if you have any other questions, or if you have any suggestions on videos that I should make explaining certain settings, please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.